Anyway, yes, we're back. Sorry, Mary pressing fucking buttons. She ended the live stream. Gosh darn, Mary. Hi, PDX. Yeah, so Mary ended the live stream by accident. It's okay. We're here. We here. I put it back on yours, Mary, too. Oh, and she left again. What's she doing? She's pressing too many buttons. Hi. Anyway, I was in the middle of my story. So, yeah, for anybody who was not here on the last one, here we go. Hi, Premiere. Sorry, Mary was doing something, pressing buttons, and she kicked us out. But we're here again. So here we go. So I'm on this train. I remember you. Yes. You and I used to hang out at Nez's all the time together. Nez Lover, you used to hang out. Yeah, I got cut off in your middle of your story. I know, right? But yeah, so I was on this train. You could see this guy next to me, this kid playing ball. I saw the silhouette, the door opened and closed, right? So then the train starts going, and I'm thinking, great. It only took us 20 minutes to get to that stop, so I figured it would take 20 minutes to get back to where we were, and then another 15 to get to my house, right? So, great. Everything's going well. The train starts going, and then it stops in the middle of what would be where we just left from and the next stop. And it stopped for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15. I'm like, Jesus Christ, when's this train gonna go, right? So the train starts going again, finally. And I'm like, this train must be going express because it starts going and it's going for like 40 minutes. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And it's going at normal speed. It's not like it's going slow, right? So I'm like, oh my God, guys, it must be going express. Must be the next one. So, oh, I would love that, Stephen. Do you make a lot of music? I've been doing some music too. I can't sing, but I love writing music. And so I have a lot of music on my channel. I really do like it. Um, so yeah, so then I'm like, 40 minutes, it must be going express. An hour goes by. We're still on this freaking train without this train stopping, without it opening its doors, right? Finally, the train's coming to a stop. So I go, no, this must be our stop, right? Like, I'm like, I don't even know where we are. I can't even see out the train thing. So the train doors open. I look out and we're on the second stop. With autotune, anybody could sing. Maybe. Yeah, Shire, she kicked us off the live and now she kicked herself off this one. I don't know where she went. She's coming. She's coming back somewhere. She's coming back. Um, some people don't need. Yeah, I wish I can't sing. I sound like a dead canary. I'm tone deaf, so it's very hard, but I really, really love to make music, like songs. So you could see some songs on my channel a lot lately because I've been writing like crazy. Um, you got stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm telling you. So so when I see that I went one stop in 45 minutes, but it only took us 20 to get there, I was like, what the frick is going on? So I step back in the train. There's still nobody gets on the train. It's still just me in this train. Okay, we go another, I don't know how long, 20 minutes. We get to the next stop. But now people start getting on the trains. Now I don't feel so bad. But anyway, we do this live stream. We finally get home, thank the Lords. But I'm telling you, when I watched that live stream back, there was so many things in that live stream. The silhouette, the door opening, somebody standing in the train next to me. You could see it was an old guy. You could see him clear as day in the window reflection. It was crazy. You probably could prove me wrong, but why? That's right. I'm going to be 32 years old in September. Well, happy early birthday. And good for you, 32. I wish I could be 32 again. I was 36 for 10 years, but now I have to say I'm a little older now. I can't get away with 36 anymore, I don't think. But yeah. Oh, hi, honey. How are you?
I was just in the chat like 2 seconds ago. So now I got to figure
I
out how to
know.
see the time.
And I said, where'd Mary go now? She kicked herself out.
No, she thinks because I went and checked my email again, and I was like, because I was thinking maybe she sent me a link to the news stream too. So and then I checked it again, and it popped up. So as I clicked on it, and I can't leave them both open because I got YouTube Premium because it'll
Oh, yeah.
feedback.
Yep.
So,
Well,
and I
you
didn't
should
want
be
to stop.
able here. It's StreamYard, so you should be able to see the chat on the side.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. They changed it, but I
Yeah.
got it. It's just a little icon in the middle of the screen. And go comments. It's got to be careful because if I accidentally hit the back button, then I'm kicked off this thing, kicked off the
I know
channel.
you. It is a little. It's hard on your
And
phone. That's why I
even
don't touch anything, and why I have the two phones to finagle, because you finagle too much and you end up ending your stream.
not only that, you end up like backing yourself out of somebody's stream, and then you if you don't keep track of the battery power, because StreamYard uses a lot of battery power.
I know. I'm plugged
So,
in as I'm doing the stream.
and I'm using mobile data, but I got unlimited, so I should be fine.
Oh yeah. Well, it's nice to see you in person because I've only seen you in other people's streams, chitty chatting. We've
And
talked a
you
lot, but I've
probably
never
only see
seen
me
you
as
in person.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I was talking over you. You see me talking to other people, but when I was really going good, I was this talking avatar cat.
Yes.
And I thought I made everybody laugh. And it's like, I mean, I can still do it, but it's so hard to get it working and it's so aggravating to keep it running because it
Yeah.
takes all this, like, I don't know, because I have a lot of
Background.
other
It
things to
takes the
keep track of.
background data, I think. Yeah.
Yes, it's keeping track of everything and then up to date and preventing it from updating. And then sometimes it updates and then you got to undo it. And it's a headache. And so I got tired of, I wish they would have never got rid of Snap Camera because I had a lot of fun with it. I made so many I made my own filters. I programmed my own filters in that thing. I had
Oh
made
yeah.
Bacon, I made Cartman, I made Mr. Hanky, I made, you know, yeah. I'm kind of bummed out about that. I spent a lot of
I
time
think.
for other people to have cool little things to use.
Oh yeah, and they don't have it still for the computer. Like I know they don't let you do it on the phone film and stuff, but I thought on the computer they still let you use
Yeah,
the filters, but I don't know.
no, they removed Snap Camera. They only got it on the phone now.
Oh, they don't even have it for the computer. Oh yeah, that's why, because
No,
on the on
but
the phone you could do very
they
little with
said
it.
they were going to stop Snap Camera because due to augmented reality, they wanted to put all their effort in augmented reality for the virtual headsets, the headsets that make me dizzy, the headsets that most elderly people and young people cannot really use without getting disoriented.
Yeah.
Like only like, well, my son was able to use it, my daughter was able to use it. I'm only able to play in the augmented stuff. I was only way I didn't get motion sickness is when I was playing Beat Saber, and that was like the only game I could play without feeling motion sickness. And
Hi
I don't know
Jen.
what it is. Once they can figure that out, they can get rid of the motion sickness. But who wants to wear virtual goggles to do anything? I don't like that.
Yeah, no, that's not my thing either. I would wear the virtual goggles and fall or something. Like if I had to get up and forget I had them on, I would kill myself. No.
Exactly.
That's not for me.
That's why I think that when they came up with the Google, like the glass part, where it's like some vision impaired thing that you can wear, but I don't want to wear glasses. Nobody wants to wear glasses
Yeah,
unless they absolutely have to, you know.
right. No,
So
it's true.
enforcing everybody to wear glasses is not going to make it fun to wear glasses.
Yeah,
I mean, if VR is VR, man. If you like the experience, I thought it was fun, but who wants to be forced into a scenario for that? You know, I mean, and you have to
yeah.
pay money for
Well, of course, yeah. Yep.
it, and nobody knows the
No.
side effects. Nobody knows the. It's brand new technology. Nobody knows the consequences of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, and impairing your vision in any way is bad. I They gave me a pair of I would get on my vision plan. I would get one pair of glasses that were transitionals and one that wasn't because it was free. Um, but the one that wasn't the transitionals, because my eyes got so used to the transitional lenses that when I put on the other ones and I went out with my son, and because it didn't transition and it didn't have, I guess, the filters that the transitional lens have, we were sitting in IHOP, and all of a sudden it felt like the whole room was shaking and spinning, that I thought it was an earthquake, that I grabbed my son and went under the table of the IHOP, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I said, "It's an earthquake." He's like, "No, it is not." I literally had to call my boss. Now the whole IHOP is looking at us. I literally had to call my boss, and I told her something's wrong with me because the whole like place shook and whatever. And she told me, okay, like, and I tried to explain to her, and she's like, "Take off your glasses." Is that because she asked me, "Did you do anything new?" I'm like, "Well, I'm wearing my new glasses." She's like, "Take them off." Took off my glasses. My eyes settled, and I was okay after that. But it was all because my eyes got so used to wearing the transitionals that it could not process what was going on with those other glasses without the changing of the and it screwed me up. It gave me I forget what they call it when you get dizzy
I'm
and the
trying to
whole world
remember
is
myself.
shaking.
It's like a hallucinogenic, visual hallucinogenic euphoria. There's a scientific name that the definition something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what it they call. I mean, and
There's
the
scientific
my
name for that.
boss called
It's
it
like
something like, but
it's a tongue twister for real. Not really that
yeah,
bad, but it's hard to pronounce. It's it's
yeah,
it's
no, it.
really. I mean, I can ask ChatGPT though. I mean, wait, I don't have it turned on. I have to.
Oh
I don't
no,
have it. I don't have my hotspot turned on.
yeah.
I do. Ziply Fiber turned off my internet. You know, and they wanted to get me to pay $1,700 for my internet bill. I contacted the FCC. They dropped it down to $500 and
Oh my
five
god.
hundred and three dollars. And then I'm like, dude, $503. That's a lot of fucking money.
There you are,
That's
Mary.
only $300 less than what I would have. And I'm what? What'd you say?
I said, "There you are, Mary. Hi, Mary. Hi, Bad Daddy."
Oh, Mary's in here.
In chat.
Yeah, I just got here. Hang on. I'll be back in just a second.
Yep.
I gotta get settled.
Hey, once you finish your story, because I really want to listen to that. Because I mean, after the story, I left off what I comprehend and remember. If you finish the story, I missed the ending. So I mean,
Well, what
you
story
got
you
the
talking
thing.
about?
No, she told the whole story, but I
Oh, okay.
forgot how it exactly ended. About the story where she was on the train
Oh, where I
came
was on the
and
train.
Okay.
yes, I mean, I literally for some reason either it's the alcohol or my brain had a fart, but I'm trying to remember what happened after the train. It was all real. And all I really remember for some reason, because I'm picturing the story, it got interrupted. Then I got brought back into it, but then I'm still trying to piece together because I got brought back to the kids were hiding underneath the thing on the train, underneath
Yes.
the bus.
Okay. So there was a spirit child playing with a ball. There was a gentleman who's standing in the train with me, older gentleman, white hair, beard, um, who you could see from the reflection, the glare that it gave off the train window, that he was in the train with me, but there was nobody there in real life. But in the window, it looked like this guy was standing next to me. There was a silhouette of a guy standing in between the two train doors down past the bathroom, um, right and that was when the bathroom door opened and closed, and when I went to see what was going on with it. Yeah, and then there was the fact that the train took 40 minutes just to go one stop, when the whole ride to go the other way to get there took 20 minutes. So it was like a weird time lapse thing. It was craziness.
Yeah, that's
Spirits all in that
that's the
train.
that's the part that I was trying to grasp, like you were saying, and that's where I was trying to fit in, and that's where I thought it was a dream because my dreams sometimes feel like they last so long, but I've had things happen in reality that I can't explain either, and nobody can
Right.
relate to me. And so I think that literally I've had certain things that I don't even want to talk about because I don't want people make me look like I'm a psycho. But I mean,
No,
although obviously you're saying some people might thinking, man, she's lost her rocker. But no, I agree with you. I've been in situations where time seems to stop
well, and I tell you,
and
I was
you don't even
on
know.
live stream, so they were with me that whole time, and they
So
were like,
the
"This
whole
is all crazy."
so you got a 20-hour. No, this is gonna be gold if you can take that live stream and show that live stream. I'm literally sitting here trying to do a lawsuit. So evidence is the key to proving everything. Once you have
Yeah,
evidence, you have an audience, and once you have an
right.
audience, then you have concept and
We don't
understanding. Because
either, Bad Daddy.
well, it doesn't really need an audience. The audience is you and God. I mean, that's the only
Right,
audience you really need. You don't need everybody else. Everybody else, it just then they can find the audience, and where we really are all entwined. So it doesn't really matter if you whatever everywhere you want to perceive it.
no, you
Whatever
know what?
floats your boat, in my opinion.
It
But
helps people to know that other people go through these things. It does. So you should have an audience.
that's why I'm trying to say that it's just it's eye-opening to find out that other people go through the same thing, and absolutely you can resonate, and that's like I really starting to understand the resonant frequency, especially like Stephen Burns. Like he seems a little like I really was into him a lot, but then he started resonating away from me, and I don't know what that
Right.
means, but but he's not. He's just it's I think it's something pushing me away from the resonating frequency because he's starting to talk more on the lines of certain things that I don't agree with because there's certain
Right.
things that I find in my personal belief, and I think our personal beliefs kind of barricade ourselves and protect ourselves from
Right.
possible real beliefs or anytime. But a false belief is what I really want to figure out is how to conquer the false narratives that our minds are definitely corrupt with, because I want to know the truth and I want the
Right.
truth to be known. And how do we break free from misunderstanding? Because I know I'm still breaking free from it.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you, and I'll tell you. The thing is, and I'll tell you why. Because there was people that I used to resonate with, and I used to think, oh, we have the same morals and all this stuff. Um, and then, like you said, then all of a sudden they started going a different way. because that's their path, right? So they broke off, they hit their spiritual peak and they're going one way, and my spiritual path is taking me another way. So then my reasoning for them breaking off from them is because I learned what I had to learn from that person, and now my path is taking me to other people to learn more, because we're always learning, you know?
Exactly.
And
For sure. You're
um
not, if you
you
can't
know,
say that, if you can't say that you're not learning, then you don't know. I know everything. You're a fool.
no, no, we're always learning. And so some people come into our lives just for that little bit, and we take what we learned, and then we move on, and we share it with other people, and then we learn new things, right? So yeah, so that's happened to me a few times. But I'm going to tell you, and when I hit my really started asking like you all the questions, like trying to break free from what I was taught and what's society says is real and what really is real, right? When I really started sitting down, asking the questions, I didn't get much answers. But then I went a different way because I found a little child spirit who needed help, who talked to me, and I wanted to get that child help. The child wanted to cross over. So I went to mediums, all these people, no, they were fakes. They couldn't cross this child over. This child finally said, "No, you can do it. I'm going to teach you." And this child spirit taught me how to cross over spirits. And I started crossing over tons of spirits, especially children, um, to help them, right? Once I started doing that and I stopped like trying to figure out the meaning of life and all this stuff, when I was just focusing on truly wanting to help these children's spirits, and then it grew to like other spirits would be like, well, I really want to go too. And I was like, okay, well, if you're good, fine. Um,
Yeah,
and
I
I
got a
started
question
crossing
for you.
over all sorts of spirits, right? Um, that's when my spirit guides gave me like I call it like a vision. It was like a 5 hour download. And they showed me in like a movie form of basically the questions that I was asking. Like, is there a heaven, a hell, a God, all this stuff? Like, what does it look like really? And they gave me a vision of like a spiritual battle that I obviously took part in, either in a different dimension or in a different lifetime. And they played it out, and they played all this, basically that whole scenario played out, giving me all the answers I ever needed. And then after I had that, I was like, holy crap. I actually made it a series on my channel because I wanted other people to understand when they get these spiritual awakenings, downloads, visions, they mean something, and to try to decipher what they're telling you, right? So I actually made it a cartoon like series on my channel, doing it little bits by little bits of what they had shown me, because it was 5 hours. I didn't move. I was awake, but I couldn't move. I didn't go to the bathroom. I didn't eat nothing. Just sat for 5 hours while they showed me this like movie playing in my head. So yeah. Let
Oh,
me go back.
by the
Somebody asked
way,
a question.
so I want to let you know something.
Yeah.
Just certain things that I've learned from literature and through experience is you can't lean on your own understanding, for one, because
Right.
I've had visions and I've had my own understanding, or at least I thought I saw something or understood something one way. I found I was completely wrong,
Right.
because once you call upon the name of God, and once you question reality in its whole, a lot of things you start to look the other way, a lot of things. But demons can certainly give you visions, certainly can give you a whole different thing. They can paralyze you. They do that. They can sound like the dead. They can imitate the dead. that this is documented. There's documented stuff. I mean, if you want evidence, I can find it. But
No,
it's
no,
just,
I've been
I just
attacked.
don't want you. I don't want you to think that I'm offending you or saying that
No, no.
what you're saying
Listen,
is true.
everybody.
I'm just saying we've been deceived many times. I've been deceived, and so
Oh yeah.
and
I'm gonna tell you, I don't ever take anybody's opinion against me because everybody has a right to their opinion. You don't know how many people told me you're actually talking to demons. I said, listen, lady, I've been
I'm
attacked by a fallen
you weren't
angel
talking.
with lightning bolts. I said, I know who I'm talking to you to, okay? It annoyed me because she doesn't know me from Adam. How dare you tell me what I'm doing, right? She annoyed
Exactly.
me because she doesn't know me and she persisted to say she was right. She didn't say look into it, protect yourself. She said, I'm right and those are demons and you're a demon worshiper. I told her go fuck
Trust me,
herself.
they got a whole different.
Wait. So
Yeah, they
basically,
have a whole
I
different,
went at
but
you. You might want to double check what you're thinking, and you don't lean on our understanding. That's kind of what the Bible says, and it's like I don't
right,
want to tell you I know what I'm saying because if I say that, then I'm leaning on my own understanding, and I'm a hypocrite.
right, right.
So
Well,
technically,
bad daddy.
let's second guess ourselves, and then let's agree with the spirit of God, not the spirit of evil. And I
Right,
have a lot of wild ideas. Don't get me wrong, but I don't. I keep my mind open, and I can feel the spirit. I feel like I can feel the spirit. I don't. The spirit doesn't talk to me. It makes me feel good when I'm doing good. It makes me feel bad
right.
when I'm doing bad. I think it's a
Hey,
conscience thing.
Adam.
Well, you definitely can feel bad for good. So I mean,
Well, right. I just want to answer one
we're
question.
talking to, we're talking to them. I mean,
I just want to answer one question in the chat. The reason why they can't cross themselves over um, is because you need a key on both sides, okay? So you need a gatekeeper on the side of up there, and I'm talking about I don't open no gates to heaven. It's to a waiting room. I don't cross people to heaven or to hell. It's to a waiting room. And then the spirit on the other side takes care of where they go. So there's a gatekeeper on that side to open the door, but you need a gatekeeper on this side. Just because that child knows how to do it, they cannot open the door. You need a gatekeeper. So basically, this child knew I was a gatekeeper and I just didn't know how to do it, which is how she came to me in the first place. So I had to learn how to open that door and knock so that the other side can open and let the child in. And so that's why they cannot cross themselves once they miss their light. So
And
just wanted
the way I
to
was,
tell them
you know,
that because she asked me the question.
the way that she's saying it, don't. I mean, she could be right. I mean, the way that I believe it to be is well, the way the scripture says is when you die, your spirit in the dead know nothing when they die. I mean, I'm not going to cite scripture because I'm not a priest, but for the way that I understand it, and even Jesus said that the sleep you go to death. There's nobody that is dead that is sitting there waiting, except for the 144,000 virgins that were ripped away to sing a song to the Lamb, according to the Revelations. Now, I can't rewrite that, and I don't know exactly what that means in anything. But all I know is that when you die, you're sleeping.
I
Yeah,
You're pretty much
agree with the
back
Bible.
to the
The
beginning.
Bible was
That's
written
you
by
already,
man
that's
too,
you incurred. That's from my understanding. Now,
and men
was the
make
Bible
mistakes.
wrong? It was translated by many other people. So I'm not going to call anybody wrong because
right.
you got to have an open mind
Well,
and you got to make your own
but this is
decision. You got free will.
right.
Well,
But
you know,
I'm gonna tell
none of
you
us are gonna know until we pass on.
I'm
None of us
still
get to
listening, but
know
I don't
any of
want
it until we pass on and we're there. But
yeah,
on the standpoint of what we're doing over here on this side, is stuff that we've been doing, I've been doing all my life. Now, she started later in life, but still, like, I mean, I started at 5 years old, so I've had many years doing
right.
it. But I truly believe that we are talking to. We're going to know if we're talking to something that's bad, because we feel energy. We can tell if the difference, if it's bad energy, if it's good energy, to evil energy, to even if it's not human energy.
Yeah.
Everything's energy, so we can tell the difference. Now it may took us a little bit to figure that out, but it didn't take that long.
Right.
You know?
Well, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell Premier Hall something. The Bible was translated from, I don't know, the most ancient language. It was translated, I
Hebrew,
don't know how many
Hebrew and
times.
Hebrew and
It was
Arabic.
also changed by 3 different popes. If
You're
you
right.
change
You're 100%
something, to
right.
me, that's not the original.
You know
So,
what? Not only
and
that, they removed
did
the
you?
book of Enoch. So, I'm not to interrupt you. I'm complimenting you.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a little bit of a compliment here. They also removed the book of Enoch, and it really proves a lot of other things and a lot of feelings in my understanding. So, not disowning your understanding of the life after death
Right.
thing, because Enoch never died.
Yeah.
But yet Jesus said he was the only one that did. So there's a lot of contradictions and but there's a lot of misunderstanding too. So we
Right.
got to break our
Well,
bridge
because
on that one.
my teacher, did you ever play that game? I'm gonna ask you, did you ever play that game in school where the teacher whispered something in the first kid's ear and then they whispered
Yeah,
it
I
into
was
the
just
next one
telling
and
my
the next
mom
one?
about that
And by
experiment.
time you got to the end, it was
It was a
totally different than
totally
what the
different
teacher
gospel.
said.
Yeah, that's
That's
exactly the
because when
scenario.
you translate over and over and over and people hear what they want to hear or think what they want to
It
believe, their beliefs get in the way.
the room
That's
changed.
when you get something that
You know
maybe
what?
not
The
it.
biggest,
So I
yeah,
can't believe
the
the whole
biggest,
thing because I don't know what part they took
it's the
out.
10%. We use 10% of our brain. And it's really
Yep.
was scientists only know about 10% of our brain. That's the biggest example. Because scientifically, if you Google it, we use all of our brain. Scientists only
Yeah.
know 10% of it. And that's
Yeah.
the biggest freaking myth that proves your exact spot right there. That's the probably the biggest and best example.
Right. So you really have to go with what your heart and your gut. And I always tell people
I agree with you on
your
that one.
intuition is your superpower that God gave you. That is your um in tune with the universe vibrations is your intuition. And if
And your
something doesn't
kryptonite,
sound right to you, then you don't have to believe it, whether the Bible
you know
says
what?
it, your mother said it. If it doesn't sound
Exactly.
right to you, you don't have to believe it. And you can believe whatever you want. And I've had people come here during Spiritual Thursday who were atheists, and we talk just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can believe whatever you want. I don't have,
Fine, I
I,
absolutely.
I have no right to judge anybody. I'm just, this is
Well, I
what
know
I
Satan
believe and
for
how I
all,
live
you
my
know.
Oh,
life, you know?
I love the spiritual talk that you bring, the questions that you have to raise. That what you're talking about isn't, there is no crime about asking about truth. There is, the worst thing you can do is just accept the things the way they are. Your
Yeah,
kryptonite is to hate people. If you start hating and seeking revenge, that's your kryptonite in your soul.
yeah.
Hate is kryptonite. Everybody's kryptonite. Get the hate out
No,
of
you
your
got it.
thing and start letting it go and just move on, because your revenge ain't going to fix anything. You can't bring
Yeah.
somebody back from the dead. You can't undo the past. All you can do is
Oh, no,
search for the future.
that's right.
Where are
And that's what I tell, like, people tell me, like, oh, like that woman about the demons and whatever. I said, listen, there's demons. Don't get
There
me.
are
Oh, we know
demons.
there's demons.
I certainly know
I
there
and
are.
I'm
but
gonna
they're
tell
not
you,
not as often as what people think they are.
but according to the few spirits that always come by and talk to me, my mother and my father are both deceased, and sometimes my family will come visit me, right? And a lot of people get visitations from their family who've passed. It's just, you know. It happens, whether it's
My
in our heads
belief,
or it's
I
really
believe
happening.
that it's not
It to us,
possible.
it's real. Okay, you know, regardless whether
Other
it's real
people
to
that want
anybody
that
else,
belief,
real to the person who it's happening to.
of course it
So
would be.
yeah, so they
You know
tell.
the
Oh yeah,
crazy, but the scariest part about that is that I wouldn't want my dead family members to watch me suffer while they're dead and not be able to interact. That would be the worst torment on your dead loved ones to have them watch you. But we do know that Moses is definitely there because and especially if you're a Christian, because Moses was there, and so was Enoch, so was Elijah, or I don't know about Elijah, and we know that they didn't die. So, and we know that Moses was there, but it never said in the Bible that he didn't die. They buried his body. So that gives everybody a reason to believe that there's a possibility of life after death that we don't know about.
well, I know. Well, I definitely know. Like I said, I mean,
See,
The
I'm
Bible.
ignorant.
I want to say that um the creator, the universe, God, whoever
Oh,
you believe in, the higher power,
I like to call him,
the
I like to
creator,
call him
whatever,
Yahweh
everybody
or
believes something different.
RW.
The higher being gave me this ability to talk to these people who passed and are lost. And now, and this is just, like I said, from my experiences, right? And believe, don't believe, whatever. But I believe the reason why I was given this is because basically the world has changed so much since way back when, right? Since when the Bible was written.
They
People
certainly
now
have.
have so many different thoughts. People are not crossing over. They're afraid to go to the light because of all this stuff that they heard. They're going to go to hell if they did one bad thing, if they had children out of wedlock, if they had
That's
sex
why
before marriage. Now they're like, holy crap, there's this light. It's just like in the stories, and I don't want to go. So what ended up happening was there was all these spirits on this plane that were
but
supposed to go
then
to the light and didn't go to the light. And I think that's why I was given this, because I talk to them and then I send them how they're supposed to go.
I got a question. At the very end of the Bible, it says that there was a sea of people with palm branches that no man was able to number. This is right before the end of Revelations. That all had the seal of God. That all there's like an on man could not number the people that make it to heaven.
Right.
So, I mean, even this astronomical thing, like even the guy that says, like even the astrophysicist, just the
Hi,
fact that we're
Sleepless.
here, it's just astronomical to say that it really could be flipped, last or first, first or last. God, I mean, we know that God is love, and
Yeah.
we know that a lot of the spiritual things there could be, there could be a lot of broken demons. I mean, literally, this is the whole thing. Is like there was Nephilim, there are demons, and because there was this. I mean, in Enoch, it's the book of Enoch. I mean, this is stuff that
Yeah.
isn't even in the Bible that I actually think is profound. I mean, if it's true, I don't. I mean, the only thing I know is true, and I don't. I mean, everything in the Bible is just inspired. Your
Right.
heart's the only thing that can decipher truth in fiction. It could be a great story, beneficial for teaching. Does it make it true? No, it's still inspired by God and it's beneficial for truthing. All scriptures are inspired by God according to its own scriptures. And it makes
Right.
sense because it leads us to the understanding of because it proves, I mean, itself proves its existence because of how true and accurate all of its prophecies are. So the
Hmm.
book itself proves itself existence. It's like that's where you get the evidence that prophecy is the powerful book. And that's why it condemns everybody in Revelations to take any part of changing it and manipulating it into their own thing.
Right.
And anybody that does that will get all the plagues in that book. So anybody that's seeking righteousness and justice is not going to tell anybody to not seek the truth. They're going to tell you, they're going to try to hide the honest truth. Because I mean, I'm certainly
Right.
not somebody that's going to tell you don't don't. I mean, you got to listen to me. Don't listen to nobody else. You know, you got to listen to your heart. You got to listen to what's common sense, and you gotta not worry about, because I mean, honestly, I mean, if you die and you're in heaven, there's no reason for anybody to come back here. And I mean, if you do die and go, and if it's that simplistic, and I mean, but it shouldn't be, because according to what Jesus said, when you die, your thoughts perish unless you're immediately resurrected like Lazarus, or you get brought back to life like your apostle or Moses, or somebody that's been like
Right.
Enoch, the servant of God, somebody that's been there with God, talking to God. You'll be with God immediately. And there's not very many people that follow that path. I really would love to everybody, but I know that we need to lead everybody to it, because God's will is nobody left behind. And
Yeah. Well,
that means your worst enemy, he wants your worst enemy to repent for his evil deeds and his accept his reward. He didn't. You don't think that
oh,
there's
Andre, I'm sorry.
nobody who can forgive? Is my point. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the
Well,
love of God
and
is so powerful, it can change anybody.
yeah. Well, we all. I mean, I believe the Creator, and I believe, um, you know, the heaven, the hell, the everything. I'm gonna
I
tell you,
don't
I
think
was
the hell
attacked.
would be
I was attacked. Well, I want to
into
tell you, I was attacked by a fallen angel. This, I don't know
was
what
it
to call him,
Gabriel?
but no, no, no. It was, I don't know who it was. He didn't tell me his name. He just told me I'm a bad angel, and he didn't want me helping the children. And that's how I knew I was meant to do this job, to help these children get to the light, because they stayed here because they didn't want to leave their families, because they didn't know what death was. Most of them are under the age of 10, So that's how I knew when this bad angel was stabbing me with lightning bolts. He did it for 2 hours, and I just sat there and I was like, I'm not gonna show him that I'm I'm not gonna let him get the best of me. I'm not gonna give up, because um I'm not gonna give him that satisfaction. But for 2 hours he attacked me with lightning bolts and anything he could throw at me to make me stop helping the children. And he told me straight out,
But
I
so
am a bad
are these
angel.
children?
And I was like, okay, but
Are these children alive?
no, they're not. These are children who were passed and lost their way, and one of them talked to me, and that's the one who showed me how to cross her, so that they can go to where they need to go. Because what happens is the children who don't understand don't go to the light. It's not automatic. You have free will, okay? You have free will to do whatever you want
Or
in life and in death.
no,
So if
that is
you
a
don't go to the light, they open it for you. You go. If you don't go, they can't leave this light open, because bad things can go into it. So they close it after, I think, according to them, it's like 3 weeks our time, but their time is different. So if you don't
no.
go,
According to
if you
God,
miss it,
do you know what God's time is? I just want to know if you ever read that part in Saint Peter. Do you want to know?
no, no, I have not.
In Saint Peter, it says that this is what creeps me out. And if you ever read into it deeper, like I did, it says 1,000 days to 1 day is 1,000 years to God, as 1,000 years is but 1 day.
Wow.
I
Okay.
mean, that's
So
pretty
yes.
much how
So
it is.
it's
So
backwards.
pretty much, no, it's okay. The way I read it from Saint Peter, I might not have cited it exactly, but the way I read it from Saint Peter, it pretty much says that 1,000 years of one day to us is 1,000 years to God, but yet one day
Right.
to us is also equivalent to God. He is so magnificent that to him, one of our days lasts to him 1,000 years. So it's a
Ah,
thousand times a thousand. So literally his day is 1,000 times 1,000. And that makes so much sense to me. I mean, and it's only broadly speaking, because it's probably astronomically bigger than that. Because given the
right.
fact that we know how big the universe is and stuff now.
Oh, right. Yeah, but so like I said, they talked their time. So they said like 3 weeks your time around. Um, but so if they miss that light, and a lot of children who don't understand it, they're 5, they're 6, they're 7, they don't know what the heck it is. They're afraid, and they stay. Their spirit stays to be with their mother, their father. Now, when their mother and father passes away and goes to the light, they're stuck with nobody. And that's where I come in. That's who I help find their light again and go over.
What
Um,
you gotta do?
so
Scream every word that pronounces Jehovah, and that'll free them all. Even the demons, they will shudder.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
Jesus.
So
Jesus is
I
not a
guess
name.
it's like
It's a
doing
title.
prayer so they can find their light. Um,
Yeah, and
and
honestly, it would
and
if they're, but then it would scare away if they're all just pretend demons to distract you. I mean, I'm just hypothetically saying, if it was all just a
yeah.
metaphor to distract you from your understanding and to make you feel like you were doing something that was, I always get to that point where I'm being used by the devil, or by some demon shit, and getting, it's like I don't want to be used. So every time I call upon the name of God, I know it puts me in the right direction, and it gets rid of my nightmares. So I love calling upon the name of God, and I tell my kids to
Right.
do it and everything. So praised
Oh
be the
yeah.
There's
Lord
nothing wrong with
Jehovah
that.
Almighty, Jehovah Yahweh, Yahweh, Jehovah,
Hi,
YHWH.
tired
You
love.
can't, you can't go wrong with God's name. It scares
Oh no,
demons.
you can't. Well, like I said, I thank goodness. I mean, I saw one demon lady one time. She didn't bother me. She was on her way to do a job, and I just happened to see her go on her merry way. I know they exist. Thank God they don't have any use for me. Um,
And
I
it's
know there's bad, evil
everything.
things out there. I've
With the
had
whole thing being,
regular bad things attack me. Like I said, I had that angel, but I also had just a bad spirit energy of some vengeful spirit attack. Like there are bad things out there, and I try to stay away from that. I just try to radiate the good, but I do really, because hey, if I didn't
right.
believe that I was really talking to these spirits or helping these
Oh, I
children,
believe.
either A,
I
I would be
believe.
crazy, or B, I'm
Oh,
literally giving all my energy for nothing, because it's either
just,
I'm helping
just
children or I'm crazy.
you're not crazy.
I'm gonna
You're not
make a
crazy.
cigarette.
Everybody, listen to this, dude. I've been deceived myself. I've been deceived myself by stupid innuendos. Man, everybody falls victim to to deception, to misunderstanding, to feeling good that they're doing something. Dude, demons are really good at doing that. They're good at tricking you and everything. And so it's up to you to decipher based on what you can understand, your heart, your understanding of common sense. Common sense comes from, hey, do I remember before I was born? No, I was probably asleep. What happens when you go to you die? You just look at the logical concept of the whole written Bible, and you look at the things and you study it. And it's like our minds are so distracted nowadays that we are so easily deceived that I mean, it's not me telling you anything. I mean,
Right,
praise
right.
to God, because he's giving me the courage to stand up and say, hey, I know the truth, because God kind of gives me the encouragement to understand it. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not even that. I
Well,
mean, tried to understand it, and I feel like I fully understand a lot of it, but not all of it. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of unknown that I don't know. I don't ask him for the future because I fear it. Because I fear to, I don't want to know if I'm going to, what's going to happen in the future. I don't want to know the lottery numbers back in the day. I certainly did, but he would never give them to me, but he did it for a
Yeah.
reason because he
Right, of
knew it
course.
would lead me to
Well,
the
I
right path.
believe in like I said, I believe in all that stuff. I don't know, and this is my own opinion. I don't know that everything in that Bible is true because of the fact that my common sense tells me
It's written by
popes
men.
took things out, people added stuff in, they translated it 800 times, they made a whole bunch of new books. Where'd these come from? There's some things I just can't, I think is just people trying to control other people. So
Exactly.
I can't,
And I agree with
I
you
have to go with what
a
my gut
100%.
says. And
But
that's it. And like I
you
said, I
gotta,
believe in
that,
God and I believe he'll
that's
forgive
where
me for doing what I believe is the right thing. So
that's where it tells you, and that's where common sense and understanding tells you, do not believe on your own understanding. And that's a good scripture, and it's translated every which way in all Bibles, and it's a very good thing. And it's a proverb too. So not only is it written, you can't rewrite something multiple times to make it invincible. It's invincible. It's a very wise saying. You do not believe and lean on your own understanding. You know, so technically, it doesn't mean that you're going to take my advice. It just means that you're
right.
going to test the inspiration because what it says, Jesus Christ says specifically, it says, and he says this in every Bible, and this is very thing. You do not need nobody to teach you, but test the inspiration. Test the inspiration. Test the theory against the word of God, the will of God. Pray for the will of God, and then that will set you free. The truth will set you free because you will know that whatever your inspiration or your test is, it'll be destroyed by the understanding. It's the understanding that gets you. You've got to pray for it. You've got to understand it. You can't just read the Bible and understand it. You got to to digest it because it's like you said, it is not something that you can literally just flat out read it one time because the way our language, it's not that the language has been retranslated, it's just look at how messed up our language is. You got a sewer and a sower spelled the same way. A sewer and
Yeah.
a sower spelled the same way. We got a messed up language.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
English
but,
is the
and that's
most
what I say.
deceiving language
Yeah.
so
But
I agree
also,
with
I
you
think of it this
100%
way.
on that.
Right.
But
And I think of it this way too. It was translated into English from a language that nobody uses anymore. So you have to think that things got lost in translation or that the person who was translating it maybe didn't understand it fully. And that's where I go, am I really reading everything that he wanted us to know? And that's why I
that's
say that
exactly what you're supposed to
our intuition is really
that's exactly
comes
what
into
you're supposed
play
to ask.
when
That
you're
shows
reading things
you're
like that.
seeking God. That exactly
You know?
shows that you're seeking God. That question proves the fact that you're seeking God because you can't lean on your own understanding. That's a question. You can't lean on what is written. You can't lean
Yeah.
on anybody. You gotta like test it with your friends or your loved ones that believe the same thing or seeking the same truth. And you gotta fight for what is right. You know? And anyways, I have no excuse for what I'm doing. I'm drinking alcohol. I know beer is so you're not getting drunk off of wine. Well, it's okay to get drunk on a beer. Oh, well, it wasn't written in the Bible. I know what it meant. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not being perfect, but I'm not drunk right now. But after this one, I might be, but I'm not drunk. I'm very intoxicated, but I'm not drunk. But either way, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I can feel. I know what I can see. I know God exists. I know I'm not perfect. I know God loves you no matter what you're trying to do. I know He knows your heart. Everything He does is you're trying to do. He's testing your heart. I don't even. I mean, I've had these ideas. Don't know how true they are. That the devil doesn't even exist in a sense that we perceive him. The devil was part of the tree that was offered to Eve's imagination, her desires. She ate from the tree. She became the the giver of the knowledge and good and bad to eat Adam. It was just
Right.
it's really you got to perceive the tree your own way, because I think that
Right.
Genesis book is literally the perception of everything written in code, in a sense that we got to decipher it to help us out, because it
Yeah.
points out
And
everything, because the alpha and the omega, the genesis to the revelation, is God. He's the one that wrote the books, and whether
yeah.
some were
And do
left
you
out doesn't
Yeah,
really
I was gonna say,
matter.
and do you know originally the Bible was written to read in a mirror? It was
No, I
supposedly,
had no idea about that.
yeah,
It
look
could
it
have
up.
been some folklore.
It was written
They probably did
originally,
make the
and
mirror.
that was the language that, like I said, we couldn't translate. It was
You
written
know what's really
in,
weird is
I
like
think,
it
ancient
could.
Hebrew originally, or whatever it was, and it was meant to read like you're looking in the mirror, which is why, because you had to be reflecting yourself,
Because
and
God
that's why it
said,
was
"Let us
written in
make
mirror
man."
form.
A lot of people forget that it doesn't say God made man in his image. No, God said, let us make man in our image. Everybody forgets the us part in that Genesis picture. So that changes. And once people realize, oh, let me go back and look, did it really say us? It's like, because the us part really changes a lot of people's perspective, because it's not
Yeah,
God made man. God asked us to make. God made somebody else help him make man in his image. Why would he say that? That just opens everything. It's right in Genesis. Let us make man in our image. Every single Bible says it, except for the Quran, because Quran is a break off, but it doesn't complement the Bible. It complements the Bible, and it really says it discredits itself in its own sense, because it discredits Jesus as the Savior, and it discredits prophecy in the whole entire Old Testament too. So I mean, it just tries to
yeah,
be its own book.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and we've done um, we looked at all different, like, because we're not the only ones that, of course, have a book that they follow, right? So we did on everybody's religion. I think it's all interesting.
Well, real
Um,
Christians don't need a
we
book
worked
to
on like
follow.
the Tao Tai Ching, which was the most ancient spiritual text in um the Chinese culture. Like we went into all different ones, and I find it so interesting what the things that are alike, things that aren't, and it's just like, and that's where it comes into play too, like it just depends also on what religion you are, right? Because it doesn't make
Religion is
their,
a barrier,
yeah,
in my
well,
opinion.
I mean, it
Religion is
just
a barrier
depends on
to understanding.
what your people believe, right? So the native people
Mhm.
believed in the deities. The Tao Chai Ching was a spiritual way of looking at things, where it made you look at yourself and love everything of God's creations, right? That the universe created. They believed that the universe was the
Exactly.
creator, and just be good to everybody and good to nature and
Well,
all the
if the
creatures,
universe,
and
technically,
it might have been simpler, but
that's
it's
called the
all the
universe
same
God.
thing.
So,
Bad Daddy, have a great night. Thank you for hanging out with us.
I
you know so we went over all different beliefs. I should say beliefs, they're not religions, they're beliefs. We went over all different ones. I think we
You know
did
what?
just about everyone. Celtic beliefs, Hellenic, the Greek beliefs. Greek, I'm Greek
You know the
Orthodox.
Yeah,
That
we
is
Ancestors.
did
a
No,
quite,
the Muslim.
Christian faith.
we knew all, we did quite a few.
Christian
You
base.
were
Go on.
Yeah, I said I'm Greek Orthodox, which is a Christian faith. But even their Bible is different than like the Catholics, let's say. I can't say that it's wrong. It's just different. Like, but it follows the general beliefs of Christian, but they're
There's
different.
60.
So
There's 60. There's 60 nowadays. There's 60,000 breakups. 60. Literally 12 years ago, there was only like, well, no, wait. What was 1998? Well, that was no. Holy crap, that was 33 years. 33
yeah, that
years ago,
was
there was only 15,000 breakoffs. 15. No, I think there was less than 50,000. 15,000. Now there's 60,000 breakups of the Christian religion. Does that mean that
yeah,
everybody's trying to make God fit their will, or or are they allowing God to form their will? Because it's not the Christian real true belief is God, let me do your will, not God, let me make my will be your will. It really is. I think a lot of religions are pushing their will onto
yes,
God, and that's
SFL.
not the way it should be.
Have a
It
good
should
night,
be God's
Tyre.
will be done, not our will. And I think that's the biggest mistake that Christianity has fallen into. Is
Right.
there's only
Well,
going to be like one true will because it's the God's, and that's what I pray. Let your will, God, not mine, not any other religion, not nobody. Let God's will be done, not mine. I can cease
yeah,
to exist. All I want is if I can just have one glimpse of your will being done, that would put me to rest. But hopefully I'm
yeah,
there too, because honestly, I know God's love, and He don't want me to go away either. He don't want you to go
yeah,
away. Anybody watching the stream, He wants everybody to be there because that's God's will, from my understanding.
yeah. Well, and like I said, I have no right to judge what anybody believes about anything. Um, these, like I said, I did a lot of work on all these different scriptures, I would say, or spiritual beliefs, because you really got to say it's a spiritual belief, and
Yeah, you do to be real with
not a
yourself.
religion. It's a spiritual belief. It's what from the earliest
It's the
time that people
unexplained.
would believe,
It's the
and you can't just say, well,
unexplainable.
Christians are the only ones that got it right, because there was, like I said, the Tao Te Ching came even before. It was the oldest spiritual script ever. Came before Christian Bible was written. So, what are we saying? So I give everybody, they can, as long as they're good people, then you have a belief of something higher and to be good to everything. uh, who the hell am I to judge? And who am I to tell you you're wrong? I'm not. I mean, if you're a horrible person and you're taking things out of, like, you're saying, oh, you're preaching God, and then you're hurting people, then I'm going to say, you can't say that you're for
You
God and
can't
you're hurting people.
justify. You
Like,
can't
but
justify
if you
the
can't,
doing of the
you
God.
can't justify people hurting other people and then saying they're for God. But I don't judge anybody, because, like I said, that's not my job to judge any freaking body. Um, and I
Even
think
on
all anybody who's good and
I don't
is
judge
good to
anybody either.
people and respects people and respects everybody, then they're all my friends.
To each their own. That's how I feel about it.
Sleepless, have a great night, sweetheart. Thank you so much for joining
Oh, you
us.
know what it says? You know what it says in the Bible? What
Actually,
you're supposed to do? What you're supposed to do to anybody that doesn't believe in the basic principles of God, the basic principles. Once they don't believe in the basic principles and
I
don't
think
know
you're
how to
all right,
talk to God,
Sleepless.
you're supposed to tell them to kick rocks and walk away.
Yeah,
But if you have strong enough faith And what's the purpose right now? Like, I mean, if right now I'm on a stream where it's like, well, if I ain't gonna, you already proven that you believe exactly what I believe, and you're seeking what I believe. I mean, you've already told me that's what you want to know. It's truth and justice. You're seeking the three things. You know what the main thing everybody needs to focus on is love, joy, peace, long
Yeah.
suffering, kindness, goodness, faith, mildness, and self control. Galatians 23:13 through 17, right? How did I remember that?
You got a good
It might
memory
be
for them.
no, my memory's up in heaven because I don't have a memory unless I need it. And that's where that's the crazy thing is I know too many things, but I don't want to blow your mind. I think I know. Let me just say this. I think I know too many things. I don't want to get you
Right.
guys all geared up thinking that I'm somebody special. Because you're more special than me. Because I wouldn't be here if you weren't more special than me.
Oh, stop. We're
No,
all
that's the truth.
somebody else on my earlier on the live
We're
stream
all
when we were talking
equal.
about souls and spirits and the universe. She said, "Well, we're all created equal. So why would our souls have names? Because that's what we were talking about. Do our souls
God
have
gave us.
names?"
God gave us
And I
a new
said,
name. Upon it, nobody was written except for the one knowing it.
so I
Do
said
you
to
know
her,
your new
"Well,
name?
so I said to her, well, I think that when our energy was created, because we're all energy, we don't need this body. We're all in spirit, really. Um, when we're in heaven, we're not in body, right? You have to have an identifier. I would think, this is just what I think. Everything has some kind of identifier, whether it's a color, a number, a name,
Yeah,
a
you're
longitude and
100% right.
latitude line, where you are in the universe. I don't know. I would think that we would need an identifier for our energy. Like anything that has ever been created must have some kind of number or a stamp or a color or something. I mean, it would
God
just make sense.
doesn't.
That's what we were
I
talking
mean,
about
the funny
earlier
thing,
to say,
God doesn't need numbers and stamps, though. That's the funny thing. He don't need barcodes. He don't need number systems. He knows everything. He knows how many hairs are on your head. It knows everything that you're going to do before you're going to do it.
well,
And that's
but
the end
that's
of the
what I'm
story.
saying.
He,
He
he is
has some kind
the
of
Alpha
system
and
though.
the
There's a
Omega,
reason.
the
There's something.
infinity.
There's an identifier. Like must be
Well, there is. The identifier is yourself. The way I look at it. Now,
the
let me
energy. That's
picture
what we were saying. It was
yeah,
probably the
energy.
it's
Now,
your energy that is
basically,
your identifier.
basically, the beginning of the Bible tells you this. For the basically that once God blew in the Yahweh, the YHWH, he blew in his life, the Jehovah, the Yahweh, he blew in it. We didn't become a living soul until we had his spirit. We had a body, we had a spirit, his spirit, we became a soul. Without those, just like a light bulb, you don't become a soul until you give it power in a body. We have so many metaphors nowadays to basically show you this. It's just without the body and out the mind, you have no soul. Without the without the mind, it's not even the mind. Without the spirit, the body and the
Well,
spirit is no there. You're sleeping, and you cannot think because it says it in multiple scriptures. For the dead know nothing. For the living know that they are going to die, but for the dead they know nothing. For the very day that they
and
die,
see,
their thoughts
but
perish.
that's where,
That is Psalm.
but
That is right across the Bible, and that is right across wisdom and understanding. That's pretty much you don't have to write the book. You pretty much got to just do basic understanding in science. We were brought into
yeah,
this world.
but I'm gonna
You
tell you
get
that
taken out of it.
I
The
don't
dust you are, the dust you
right.
return.
Okay, but I'm going to tell you, don't agree with that because I think that we were spirit and soul before we ever had bodies.
And it
And
says that God, it does say that you are already known by God before you were even born. It sounds like
yeah,
destiny, and it sounds like you have no free will. But you're right because it's written. But it doesn't
yeah.
mean what I think you're. What you're. I just
Well, no.
okay. I'm
So
just saying I agree with your
because,
understanding.
well, but
I mean, I'm not
because
saying
that
that
we were
right.
spirits and soul, and we're a constant
Just look at
energy,
what makes
Oh, I
our
agree.
atoms.
energy learns whether it's,
Yeah.
I'm sure it learns a different way when it has no mind. But I also think that science has nothing to do with God. I think God can do whatever the
No, I
fuck he
think science
wants to do
complements
and
science,
how he does
and
it.
science tries to
So
piss
I
God off.
think that take the science out of it. I don't care if you have a brain or not. I think your spirit and your soul can still learn.
Yep.
I
Okay,
mean, and
what
that's
I
just my
think that
opinion.
we don't. Yeah, I agree with you, but I also think that you can't have a soul without a body and a spirit. I
I
think
don't
that
know.
that's
What does the
common
body have
science,
to do with
common sense,
anything? This body dies and
because
you're in heaven, right?
we know
But
it
wait,
talks in Corinthians about spiritual bodies, and it talks about other bodies, and it talks. I mean,
oh,
just basic information in the Bible and every religion. There's spiritual bodies, and everybody's supposed to have two, according to the Corinthians. There's a heavenly body and a physical body. And the temple of God is your body.
yeah.
When your body on earth dies, it can be resurrected back on earth again, but inevitably, you might just be a new body in heaven and not going to be rebuilt on earth. But
Yeah,
it just it's
but that's
not
what
up
I'm
to
saying.
me.
You're
It's not it's up to
no, it's up to God. But that's what I'm saying. When you're in heaven, you don't have a body. It's like you said. Maybe they say it's
no.
a
You have a
spiritual
body
body.
in heaven. No, you have a body in heaven. You have a body in heaven. It even talks about celestial beings. It talks about what they look like. They have a body in heaven. If you go to even Enoch, the book of Enoch even talks about how they had to transform his body into another thing. I mean, that's well beyond the conversation we're talking about because I don't go into.
Right.
I normally don't ever talk about other religious texts that are banned because of
Right.
extra light and understanding.
No.
But even
Well,
in the
listen.
regular Bible, it talks about there being a metaphysical, basically a non-blood like body. And then literally it even says that you have to have a blood of water. Like pretty much, from my
Well,
understanding, what I was reading through the Bible is like we got to turn into bodies of spirits of water, like where our whole stuff is going to be H2O or something. I mean, I don't know if I read that or if it was some spiritual intellect, but it was just like our bodies are going to be made of water, holy water,
well,
not
yeah.
holy, but anyway.
But that's what
I
I'm
know how to make
saying. We're
holy
not.
water, by the way. I know how to
Yeah.
make holy
We're
water. All
not
you got to do is boil the hell
this
out of it.
body. It's something different. It's not this body. It doesn't have.
What? Did I just piss off the devil? I hear you.
Oh, here we go. We're back now. Sorry. It was the internet acted up
No,
when that
I thought
train went
that
by.
I think I thought I pissed off the devil when I said the holy water and stuff. Maybe
No,
I
but
pissed off God.
we're not of this body. We're of a spiritual body. So yeah, that's what I meant. We don't have this body. So um,
No, we have this
we're of
body right now. I don't
we have
want
this
this
body
body. I
now.
want this body.
But when we're on the different plane, we're not going to be in this body. But I still think that even because we don't have this body, we still have. That's why I'm saying we still have our thought process and we still learn even in heaven.
Only because God made it so. I
Yeah.
mean, if it wasn't
So,
for him
but
preparing ahead of time,
but
we
that's
would
why I
have
think
to
that we could
wait.
still learn no matter what, wherever we are and whatever form or shape or wherever God puts us, we're always learning, regardless whether we have a brain or not. So I don't
Well,
necessarily
not
think you
the
might have got
earthly
that
brain.
text a little wrong that we're just
No,
sleeping
I
because we're
think
not sleeping.
I
We're going
like
to
your.
be
I really I
in
agree
the
with your
promised
thinking.
land
I like your
supposedly.
thinking. I like your thinking because I mean, you're thinking bigger than I am. Because God is definitely going to prepare for us, man. He's already preparing for us, man. Jesus said he's making all things new. Everybody thinks that Jesus is God, and technically, I think he is, in a sense, but not the Father. But nobody understands the Father because the Father was who created God, and nobody understands God because he created the God that created the Father. It's pretty much he was the one that created our black hole. I mean, technically, if you want to get technical with scientists and stuff, I mean, I'm just
Well,
talking from a scientific, sarcastic stance.
well, no.
Just
So the
because I think I
creator
can.
created, and this is what I think. You're never gonna meet. I call him the creator, the
Oh,
original
you
who
will.
created everything.
Anybody that believes in him, anybody that believes in the Creator will see his face.
Well,
Anybody that
I
believes
don't
in
know. I
him
think
without
that's
seeing
why
him
there's that
will see him.
confusion that Jesus is God and not his
No,
son.
Jesus,
But I just think it's
Jesus,
because you really don't come across the creator. Jesus was the one, right, who was
you'll see the face
supposedly
of God.
giving the messages and he was doing the word because
No,
here
because
on
the
earth
whole thing
we're not
is,
going to see the
let me-
creator.
can I-
But we needed to
you're
believe
right.
again,
You're
you
right.
know?
We're gonna see the God, which is probably Jesus, and we've been all disoriented, and the firstborn of all creation, because he even mentions the same thing. Even Jehovah God says in Jehovah Witness Bible, even in my Bible, says that I am the firstborn of all creations, and no God will come after me. And that's exactly what Jesus says. He is the firstborn of all creation. And it pretty much says that Jehovah is Jesus. And not only that, it says that Jesus is the Father. So pretty much that we're gonna know and see the God.
Right.
Jesus will be our God, and we'll know the Father. We'll know the
Yeah,
Father.
well,
It'll be
we will only know
unmistakable.
when we get there. I always tell people this. Listen, we could debate everything in the world. Just live your life
I
to
know,
your
but it's
heart.
fun to do it when you because it's really hard to do shit when you're dead.
I don't know, like I said, because I seen
I
these
haven't seen I
beings,
haven't
you
seen a
know?
dead person mow my yard yet, so I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen.
I wish they had enough energy because I tell them all the time I could use
Yeah,
a back rub. Now, I don't see like
right.
these things moving all the time and all this stuff. No. I don't see that like these shows that I see
Oh,
where
once
things are
you
getting thrown out of
you ain't
cabinets and
gonna
all this.
see him
I
for
don't see none of this stuff.
once you start calling upon the name of God, you ain't gonna see no more demons
Yeah,
because they don't
I
like
don't
that.
see none of that stuff. Um, I don't know what I, I I never
Just remember,
experienced that. I can't say
you
that
call
this
upon
stuff
the true
doesn't
God,
happen, but I
you
never
will
experienced
not
any of that kind of
see.
activity.
Call
So,
upon the true
and
God, you
knock
won't
on
see
wood,
death.
that's good. I, you know.
Everybody that calls upon the name of the true God, he will be saved.
So
And
can
he
you
says,
explain the Bermuda Triangle? I don't
I've
know
never
enough
done that.
about it. Let me tell you the truth,
How could I how could anybody
Shelley.
explain some place where they've never been?
But I really want to say that the Bermuda Triangle, and this is all I could say, is kind of like I always felt
Mostly
that
it's
it was like one of
windy.
those time slips where if you hit a certain point, you ended up in a different time. Like it's like a timeline that is um
Bermuda. It's a myth because you know why? Because it's stuck in a whole bunch of turbines of wind years that a lot of people lose track of the thing. I mean, you get stuck in a ton of storms. Look how many storms. I mean, that thing is not that Bermuda Triangle is barely free of storms.
Right.
So if you get stuck in the
Yeah,
Bermuda
it could be that
Triangle,
everybody's
you're gonna have
crashing
a
and they're
hard
never
time.
finding them. It could very well be.
And according to scientists, they see it has a heavily magnetic field, and so it'll screw up your instruments. You won't know where you're going, and so you get lost, you starve, you die, your ship sinks.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bermuda Triangle isn't something from the probably. I mean, it could be, but I doubt it. I mean, the
No.
UFOs, in my
How about
opinion, and the
I
only
do,
the
and I
real
wanted to ask you this. Do you believe in like timelines where because you know
yes, I definitely do because how the heck
everything
does
is
God know
moving in
all
a
things?
certain way and time is really different?
How
Good night,
does
SFL. Much
God
love to you.
know? The question I have to say about that and agreeing with you, the question I ask is if all things are possible, then that's certainly possible. The Bible itself says so.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So
that because a
certainly
lot of
says
people
in that
describe,
also
and it's
that
very
also
interesting.
explains that also explains a lot of understandings. If you look into it a little deeper, that explains why God knows how to fix you where you are and how you stand in every single dimension because he knows what you do in another dimension. So he can literally observe you for every failure you've done in every other dimension, and he can fix you in the dimension that you're currently in without having to swap you and slice you or anything. So you might exist a billion zillion infinite times across many different universes. God's infinite. There's no telling what the infinite nature is of everything. And
Right.
infinity has no bounds. God has no bounds. God's been around forever. He knows all things. So I give no boundaries to God. How dare you do so?
I just figured I was gonna come inside. Sorry, because I don't. It's a little late, and I can't have be yelling. The neighbors, people are sleeping.
Yeah, my neighbor too. Like, how dare you?
Yeah, the neighbors get
My
pissy if
neighbors
I'm
love me.
outside
My
talking
neighbors
too
love me
loud.
because I don't. My
Hi,
neighbors love me
Rosanna,
because I
honey.
don't do bad music. At least I'm not rapping or playing loud Eminem music. It's like I used to be a fool playing all sorts of crazy evil rap to get attention. It's all to get attention because I mean it really is. It's like I don't need attention. I already got the attention of the one concept in my brain that I really need, and that is, hey, I found the purpose of life. I think I did. I think. What is the purpose of life? Can you tell me what the purpose of life is? I don't think
Uh,
anybody in
well,
this chat can tell me what the purpose of life
no,
is.
I can only tell you what I think the purpose of my life is. I think we all have different purposes in life. Um,
Well,
but
technically,
but
there
the
is only
but
one
the
purpose of life. There's individual desires of life, but that's fine. That's the purpose of free
no,
will.
well, right, but I really think that uh, God has a plan for each person. That's why we're here. I think it's to learn and to keep the because the planet Earth is God's creation too. So I think it's to learn to continue to grow as a species and expand
You're making
um,
it more complicated than it really
the
is.
universe. Basically, it's just like to learn and to because I think we do this over and over again. I know for sure this wasn't my first life, And I really think we're just learning every time.
No,
And this is
sure.
to,
You could be part of the first resurrection. If you know it's not your first, because it says happy and holy are those having part in the first resurrection. So it's a possibility it could be your second life. And technically
well,
it does say, do you know Marvel Brothers
And I
that
got
you
more
will,
than one thing.
I mean it does
but
say
well,
that. But what I want to say is
I,
the purpose of life is very simplistic. The purpose of life is to create and to be the image of God. Because he
there
created
you
us
go.
in our image. He creates. That's all he is. That's the purpose of life. We were supposed to create in his image. Create, be productive, move on. That's what he said in everything. It's just that's the particular purpose of life. So simple.
Well,
It doesn't mean
yeah,
anything. We were made higher than animals. That's why it kind of pissed me off when I thought that I was being offended. It's like, no, we're all animals. No, we're not animals. We're human, not animals. We're above animals. We're above everything because we were put in subjection to the animals. We were made before most of the animals, and they were brought to us to name. And then our dumbasses, or the one dumbasses, just we were supposed to do this. The whole point is it was a we hopefully we can see Adam and Eve eventually in the future, because I think that it all breaks off as a whole bunch of misunderstanding, and then Adam and Eve were pretty much part of the plan, and we just have to conquer the plan and bring us all together. Because even though they fell, they might be able to come back, because it was
well,
technically a failed. It was an experiment to God's free expressed will. We were a creation. You cannot have a tree of knowledge and evil and expect evil not to exist beforehand. So that right there tells you evil already existed.
yeah.
And without
Well,
evil,
and
you
I
don't know
always
good.
thought you needed a little dark with the light. There has to be a balance. Because if everything
And
was
that's
all
where
good, then what would the purpose be? I would assume.
you wouldn't know good from bad. And so God pretty
Right.
much, our whole trickery is, and that's where that's the new, it's like they want to trick you into thinking the devil doesn't exist. But then again, what if you're being tricked into thinking the devil exists when it actually is part of you? It's your own selfish deception. You could be part of the devil. You got to break from the devil. The devil is within you. God is within you. The devil is within you. Break free from it, and you will find freedom. The truth will set you free. The truth and understanding of light and love and everything is that God never made anything wrong. It's hard to believe that's what the concept of love and creation made me understand this. So think about it. It's impossible for God to lie. Never in that story in Genesis did anybody ever lie. I mean, if you look at it, God knows that you will not die. For the very day of you eating it, you will bound to be like God, knowing good and bad. And it was exactly the day, not 1,000 years. To God, it was the day. There was no lie ever told. It was a deception. It's called the Great Deception, but it's also the great under. It's just technically It's part of it's part of understanding, I think. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm just starting to grasp it, and it's pretty much trying to understand infinity. And nobody can understand infinity. I mean, well, I can understand it, but I can't count to it.
Oh, yeah, right. Sorry, I muted it for a second. I was coughing and then I forgot to unmute.
I don't know. I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. If you have any arguments, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's something telling
I
me that
don't
it's
I
spiritual.
don't argue with people's beliefs. I mean, we can debate and we can tell each
That's what I
other,
mean. That's what
and
I'm
this is
used to
why
arguing with them.
no, I don't argue because I believe that like I tell everybody, God gave you free will. The creator, whatever. You were given free
That's the
will
precious. It's like the
when you
precious.
were created, and I have no right to tell you what to believe. I just want us to be, good to each other, regardless of whatever, you know?
No, you don't have
Right.
to be good to me. Just be good to God. We can separate ways. I mean, I just don't want you to get destroyed just because we have a disagreement.
No, 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 no. No, and
Well, that's my point.
I don't think we have to separate ways because maybe we have two or three thoughts that are not the same. That's silly.
That's
And
my.
that's and that's and I
Well,
think
that's
that's
with
what
anybody. You're gonna have disagreements on stuff. That don't mean you have to part ways and not be friends. Because you
yeah,
have
that's right.
disagreements on
Exactly.
something.
Because we have the same morals to treat
We
everybody
we
with
also
respect, right?
according to
To make sure
Genesis.
we're good to God's creations, like the animals and the
You know what?
planet,
You know what?
respect everything.
Can, you know
Go
what's
ahead,
really
and
weird is in Genesis it says we don't live 120 years. I mean, we are bound to live about 120 years. Like we don't know what the Bible meant by 120 years. It could have been now our calc changed. It could be 130 years or around there. Anyways, nobody has lived past that. No man has. A woman has, but I guess they don't count. Oh, but nobody's lived 126 years or 130 years. Anyways, we live in the clock line of that particular before the flood. I thought it was after the flood, but it was actually before the flood that God said, "My spirit will not reside with man for more than 120 years." And coincidentally, we used to die at 70, 60 years old, 40 years old regularly for hundreds and hundreds of years back in the 1800s. Like, if you lived to be freaking 70 years old, you were ancient. Now
yeah, you're
people
right.
live to
Yeah,
be
because
hundreds
they
of
died
years old.
young because of the just the way
All
the
these years.
environment was and how they lived,
Well, they didn't have all the medicines either.
right?
So you got that minor fucking cold. Everybody's the odds were you weren't going to make it to be 100. Now we can cure a whole
Right.
bunch of stuff, and so we live. But nobody's lived past 120. So the point is nobody will because it's written in that book, and I believe it. I believe Genesis wasn't written incorrectly. I mean, I really just have faith that God made that book because the only reason I know this is because I read it and it makes sense. If it didn't make sense, I'd say somebody messed something up. Because
Right.
or you don't believe what you read, you believe what you feel when you read it when it comes from the spirit. So anybody learn wanting to seek God, you're gonna go like, is that right? And they're like, where is this? And yada yada. You're gonna seek it. If it doesn't feel right, you're gonna seek it and you're gonna ask questions. And
Right.
that's what I definitely demand, not even ask. I demand you to not take my word for it because it feels better when you know you're confirming God's word. And confirming it, that means that you're seeking it diligently, not doing it on your own because, hell, well, this one guy told me to do it. Jesus loves me and I have to just seek his word because what he said. No, no, he will. The benefits are astronomically unwordable.
Oh yeah, it has to be in your heart. It really does. Much love to you, Tiggs. Thanks for hanging out with us. It is midnight, so maybe we're gonna call it a night tonight because it is midnight, and I don't want to wake up my son. He has a job interview, so tomorrow. So I loved having this conversation, and I would love for you to join us again on your call.
Well, I hope I'm gonna have you on speed dial now. So
Yeah,
just
there you go.
teasing you. I don't drink that often, and I'm not that sociable very often. You know,
Mhm.
this liquid, freaking sin juice
Hi,
gives me a little
Whitman.
bit of extra freaking wind sometimes. But maybe you never
Oh,
know.
that's
Maybe
good.
I
But
see you live, and it'd be
oh
nice to
yeah,
talk
but
to you.
you don't go
So
live anymore? I used to see you all the time, but
no, I just went live like before I came on your channel, but I'm more comfortable on
oh
other
yeah,
people's channels
okay.
than
I gotta
YouTube.
check the
He used to go live
notifications.
all the
'Cause I
time.
haven't seen you in a little
I haven't
bit.
seen him in a while.
Yeah, I used to go to his channel all the time, but I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
So I gotta check
Yeah, I
those
didn't have a cat going on. I think I got a little weird on my channel. Maybe everybody left, and then some girls came over trying to buy our cat or something like that. That rhymed, but I'll just leave it like that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-mm.
Well, I'm
Oh,
gonna say goodnight.
But I'll let
Goodnight,
you get
everybody.
some
yes.
sleep because you got stuff to do. I mean, it's
Yeah,
only
well,
9:02 here, but
Much
oh,
love,
it's
I mean,
not
everybody.
okay. But
I had a fun time. What's
I
your
had a
name again,
lovely
so I
time.
can try
Thank
to force it in my memory?
My name's Christina, and our other friend here is Mary.
All right, Mary,
So yeah. Mhm.
Hi.
Tina, Mary.
Yeah,
I like that name.
Mary, and I'm Christina. And yeah, so yeah,
I
you
gotta
can't.
turn I gotta turn my thing outside light on so you can see me.
We're
I didn't realize I didn't realize I'm in the
well.
dark. Well, I'm sorry. I'm like all in
That's
the
okay.
dark.
You were on
It
camera
got
for a
dark out.
long time, and then you just went in the dark at
Yeah, because
little
it
near
got
the
dark
end. So
out.
you're okay. But see, because I'm in New York, she's in Indiana, and it's so where we are,
Born in
it's
New
12
York.
o'clock.
I
Yeah, I'm
was
in New
born in
York.
New York. I was
Oh
born in
wow,
New York. Yeah, that's where I was born. My sister
I
was
was
born.
born,
My sister
raised,
was
and
born.
still here. So yeah, so it's
Well,
midnight
I'm
here.
not
That's
going to tell
why.
you exactly where I was born, but if you want, you can email me and I'll tell you where I was born. But I'm not going to do it on a live stream. That's a security issue. you
Oh
know,
yeah,
no, you don't want everybody. You tell everybody the state, but don't tell them the city because that's a
right.
security.
That's right.
Not on the YouTube. Guard your privacy.
That's a true story. Um, so yeah, so that's why I say it's 9 for you, but it's 12 for us. So it's late. Mary, thank you
Oh
so
yeah,
much
you're
for
on.
joining me.
Well, think for having a great
You're welcome.
conversation because I think I learned a little bit. I mean, I think I learned a lot actually, not to minimize it. Because I think that I really gotta question a lot about my perception, because I'm gonna have to deeply think about the possibilities of some people being stuck, because it does say in the Bible that some people don't taste death, so you
Yeah,
might be helping some people. So you know what? I gotta open my mind and my heart, man. And maybe, but even if you might be tricked by demons, it doesn't matter. Your heart, they're teaching God. Even if it was that case, it doesn't matter. You're still conquering demons by being who you are.
yeah,
So even if you think you're doing good, you're still conquering demons by showing the demons how great you are.
that's
Because
right.
you're doing good. Your heart's in the right place. So that's the way
Hi,
you gotta
Bob.
look. But people can't be like calling it demons. No, demons don't let you do good deeds. I
Right,
mean, that's the whole perspective,
right,
So,
exactly.
whatever you're
Well,
doing,
and
it's
that's
got to
all it
be a
is.
good thing.
Sometimes we read things, but we're very closed-minded. So sometimes when we read
Exactly.
things,
So,
you have to read between the lines because sometimes We don't
Exactly.
under our perception's a little off, but only because of what we've learned up to this
Experience
date, and that's why you have to always keep learning. Always, I tell people, keep learning,
always. And never
keep reading,
judge it, because
keep digging.
if you judge, then you be judged worse. Exactly. It's exactly what it says. Man, you're
Yeah,
a great. I mean, I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, but you keep freaking
that's
bringing sparks to my mind. And it's like you keep, you're a kind-hearted, loving person. I love you, man. Woman,
oh, I love
sorry.
you. So thank you for hanging out with us and for being kind
No, I
and
thank
listening
you
to
for
my
being.
ideas. And we love hearing your ideas. I love to hear everybody's ideas. And I tell you, that's the only way you're gonna learn is to get, like you
Exactly.
said, ideas from other people. Like maybe I misinterpreted this. I'm gonna go back and learn some more and look some more into it. So
Exactly. You can't, and honestly, it's better to learn for yourself than from other people because it feels
right,
more genuine when, hey, I learned this, I taught myself this, and
right.
I proud myself from understanding this myself. But I have to give credit to all the people that have told me I was wrong all along. But I mean, a lot of times I don't like to admit that. But yeah, there's a lot of people that have told me I was wrong all along, and I've been wrong a lot of times. So just, it's
But that's
okay to
why I
be
say
wrong.
it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to, like I said,
Sing
sometimes you're
along,
not wrong.
right?
It's you say you're wrong, but sometimes it's not that you're wrong. It's your perception is off because you
Yep,
perceive something you read one way. Doesn't mean you were wrong. It's how you understood it, and there was a reason
exactly.
why you understood it that way, because in that maybe time frame, that's what you had to do, and now you've grown and you've learned, and you know, you that part is over. But you had to. There was a reason why. I don't think anything's coincidence. A lot of things are for a reason. So,
When they're a coincidence, then you got to question if it wasn't for a reason.
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Most of the time, there's a reason why something happened. It's not just
Yeah.
like a coincidence.
Like,
So
it's like
I
just
always
because
look
of the
deeper into
coincidence.
those kinds of things.
Yeah. But I
Yep.
mean, there's just been so many coincidences in my life. But next time I come up, I'll tell you about how many times like stuff happened where I didn't die and I should have.
There you go. Well, we love miracle
But
stories.
well, I have to say I have at least one, but I have at least one. And I don't know if the other one was a miracle story, but drive-by shooting, me shooting back at them, they missed me.
Oh,
Drive-by, literally drive-by shooting.
well,
And it was
you know,
Gun Club Road. Go freaking figure. No joke. I'm not
oh,
even
you
kidding.
see the coincidences. Yeah, there was a reason. But there was also a reason why you didn't die. You had something to do, right? So,
No, I was shooting back at him with my pea shooter that was blanks. It was just a toy gun shooting, and a bullet went right below the IP hole. It broke the screen out, and there was bullets all through the house. Like, and the sheriffs went around, and it was crazy. Drive-by shooting. I saw the guys. I can see the picture. I can identify him to this very day. If I saw
oh
the
my
person
God.
shooting, I would be able to identify him because I thought they were playing with me. But once they told me that they weren't, my that pretty much embedded their pictures in my memory. And all I gotta say, he looks just like Chong or Cheech and Chong mixed together.
Oh,
But I couldn't tell the driver. I mean, I could if I seen him, but no, the driver was not even looking. It was all shadow. But the guy shooting had a mustache like Cheech and Chong. Well, like Chong, but he was white. And like he was mixed between both of them. I could see if I seen him again, I recognize him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Right.
super fucking weird. I mean, they never found him, and they shot up other fucking Mueller bro. They weren't after us. They're just drive-by shooters, fucking drive-by
Jeez.
fucking stupid booters.
Oh my God,
Somebody that
that's
if I
terrible.
fucking yeah, it's just some weirdos fucking shooting up. Literally, fucking fucking they got close to my head. I know the scar was from that bullet or something because I never had a bleeding thing, but I heard that bullet whiz by my ear. I was like, I thought it was
Oh,
I didn't even know what the hell that was, but I heard a whoop. Like my ear was like, I mean, I had a weird ear thing happen because I didn't know any better. I was only like 9 years old.
oh,
You know, I had no
God.
idea that smack that I felt when I was shooting at him was the possibly a bullet flying right past my ear. They shot like 12 times. I mean, 9 times, 12 times. It felt like 12 times. It's probably 12 times. I don't know. I didn't count. I had a six
Oh no,
shooter.
you were
I was
little. My
boom, boom,
God.
boom. And it was a freaking cap gun. And I was shooting right back at them because I thought they were goofing off and playing with me. And then when I came in and told my mom, somebody came out with the best cap gun. It was louder than mine. What? What? And she got up out of her bed, came up, opened up the front door, and the glass fell down, and the bullet hole was right there. And her jaw dropped, and my jaw dropped like fucking probably farther than hers. We called the sheriff's office, and yeah, and I was going, did I just dodge bullets? Yep, that was my first bulletproof experience. That was my very first
Oh my,
dodging
yeah,
bullets.
9 years old. Oh, well, at least you weren't scared, and thank goodness they didn't hit you. But that's what I say. There's a reason why you didn't.
But
It
no, that
wasn't
was
your time. You were here.
like literally 3 years, no, 2 years later. No, less than 2 years later. No,
Welcome
three and a
back,
half
Kelly.
years later. I lost. I literally was in a crisis residential center, and my mom bought me all these jackets, and I got extra jackets, and so we were about ready to run away from the crisis residential center. It was pretty much a freaking group home for kids that are not getting along with their mom because they're too busy dodging bullets. I don't know, I'm teasing, but either way,
I know.
but I mean, it was literally I ended up in there, and I wasn't. I was a problem child. But either way, we're fixing to run away. He was going to go to run away from the place, and I was about ready to leave. We were all ready to go. I had everything going, and I had all of a sudden, right before I got a fever of 103. I'm not kidding you. 103. Puking up everything I ate, couldn't go. Literally for less than 12 hours, I had a fever of 103 and puked up my food, could not move, could not sleep. As soon as they left, an hour after they left and ran away, my fever went up. I was able to sleep, and I woke up a few hours later and they were gone.
Oh,
I found out later that the guy that took my flannel jacket, well, one of them, the other guy didn't. I don't know if he was wearing one of the other ones, but either way, I gave him both my flannel jacket. He was shot in the back and killed by trespassing, and the guy got off scot free because he was trespassing
right.
on his property. You don't trespass. I would have been shot and killed, and the murderer it wouldn't have been a murderer. You're not supposed to trespass on anybody's property. Nobody teach
Right.
kids, get off my lawn or you die. I mean, technically, back in those days, that was like 1994. There's stricter trespassing laws, but I
Yeah.
think in 1994, the guy got away with it. But it would have been me. because it was my
Right.
flannel, and that was my favorite flannel. And I even was gonna fucking get my flannel back, but I don't know. I think it would have been me because I would have been with them, and I'm always the guy that linger behind, let everybody else test the trap doors. You know, I mean, I would have been the one to get shot in the back and die, and that's what he died of. It's because, you know, I wouldn't have been smart enough. I would have rather blocked his bullets anyways because I wouldn't want him to die. So I would have been the one that got shot. It didn't even matter. I wasn't afraid of dying. Go figure. You know, it just blew me away that I got sick, and I remembered I got sick that very day we ran away for less than, and I thought that was the weirdest thing in the fucking world.
Yeah.
So just a second experience. Now, I mean, and then after that, the only other experience wasn't death. Just, I think I'm here to just question reality and make everybody else question their reality.
You
Question
know,
and question
that
and question.
that is a job. I guarantee it's a job to make people learn. I told you learning is so important. And to use your mind, to think for yourself, to use your intuition, um to use your heart, your feelings. And sometimes you need a push for that, and there has to be somebody.
God, the one you'll never be alone once you know God.
Yep.
You'll never be alone. You'll never have a question that can't be answered. Once you know God, you only have to not convince people, but the only thing you have to do is just listen to people because you already know the truth. Once you know God, you know the truth. So it's kind of like, oh well, I know God. You whatever you tell me, I already know the truth. Kind of pisses you off probably, but
No.
then again, I want you to know the same thing,
Right.
and I want
Well,
you to find
like
it,
I
and I
said,
want you to find it, and not only that, I want you to find it for yourself. So it's
well,
undeniable, unquestionable, and I don't want it to be credit to me, credit to God. Because
right.
even though I show you, hey, look, up is this way, down is this way. Don't need to tell anybody I told you so. But guess what? We're spinning, so technically now up is this way and down is that way before, and actually we're going this way. I'm sorry. And I keep forgetting which way we're spinning. Nobody knows perspective of life. That's the point. Because nobody knows which way they're going.
That's a true story. Very true. I really
And
appreciate
technically,
you hanging out with me, but I have to say goodnight. Like I said,
I know.
my son has an
Thank
interview.
you. I can't believe I let
We do
you. I
this.
let you go on for an extra like 25 minutes.
That's okay. Don't you worry about it. It was so
Mhm.
interesting. So we go every Thursday is Spiritual Thursday. So you're welcome to come by. I don't know what next week's topic is. I haven't read it yet. But
But
we will
you
have
always
something
do it
fun,
2 o'clock
and
my time.
we hope to see you there. And everybody in the chat,
Send
thank
me
you, even
say
after.
send me let your friend know you can send me an email and put some exclamation points on it because I check my email regularly. And even if I'm sober, I might come up for a little while. Be like, I'm kind of busy. I'll hang out for a little bit. Even sober,
Okay, fabulous.
who knows? And you might catch me when I'm sober and get me in a good topic, man. Who knows? But yeah, just send me an
Well,
email.
there you go. Never know.
Quick.
We'll send you an email. We have your email now. Thank you, guys. Thank
Yeah.
you, Rosanna, so much for hanging out. Thank you. And I'm going to play the outro, and we're going to see you. The next time we're going to see you guys is probably Sunday on Eddie and Jen's. I don't know if we see you before on the tube. Thank you, guys. Don't forget, tomorrow, too, is Friday night spooky stories. Um, so I just do campfire stories Friday night. It's just fun. I like to make up stories. And so it's a video tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we will see you then.
11 o'clock. All right, got you. Take care, everybody.
Take care, hon. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for letting me up. It's been fun.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.